Jim, I've got a question.
Oh yeah.
There's something that's just been. It's just this nagging away at the back of my head, right? Are Liverpool in disarray? They are, aren't they? James, they are. I
love your attempt to do that naturally. Honestly, I just go, no, that's amazing.
Jim, are Liverpool's a shambles? Right, I've got a prediction here. James, I've got a genuine prediction. This is what I think is going to happen. I think Jurgen Klopp won't make the season. He won't make the season. And he will be replaced by Xabi Alonso before the end of the season. You mark my words.
Ooh, that's a shout. Do you know what I have been thinking about? So, like that, you before we started recording, you sent me a message with a couple of things we could talk about, and one was like Man City Super Cup, and I was like, I totally forgot that was even occurring.
That was my point. That's exactly my point, James. Who gives a shit? And this is what Pep Guardiola said. Pep Guardiola said this. All of my attention, all of it, is on the World Club Cup. Is there ever a more pointless competition than the World Club Cup?
Well, it's a nice little full stop, isn't it? In terms of it turns into a quadruple if you win the Super Cup to a point.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't count. The only quadruple that actually matters is a League Cup.
Yeah,
that hasn't been done. There isn't a Man City fan out there that wants to win the World Club Cup more than the League Cup to complete a domestic quadruple.
I think it does matter as a game. It does matter as a game. But I wasn't concerned about it. And what that got me thinking about, and as we said last week, with all due respect, so you can't get offended here. With all due respect,
all the respect,
the media, and I mean this with all due respect. The media is not interested in Manchester City. That's gonna wind a lot of people up. But you should take it as the compliment that it is, right? Man City are the best. There is no story in that. There's minimal story in that, okay? And in terms of fan bases, so for example, George's so interesting with the narrative is that with this idea, basically you go into our Discord server and there's a tab called Roles, and on it has all 20 Premier League badges, and you can click on the badge of the team you support, and that gives you access to the channel of your club. Because we didn't want people who were a Man United fan going into a different server and talking crap. We wanted a bit of purity to it, so people can feel like they're with their people, right? And what I saw from that was such an interesting spread of how many fans I have, but also I thought it was a really good it was a really good representation of the fan bases in the league. Now, so there was a few Luton fans, not many Sheffield United fans, not many Wolves fans, but at the top it was Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal. I think third might have been Tottenham, alongside Newcastle, and so it was 500, 600 in those, the top ones. Then it was about 300 odd in the next lot. Then it was about 180 for Man City, and so there are the fan bases are with the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, right?
Yeah, and there's decades of heritage, isn't it? It's heritage.
Sure. Well, so there's some interesting stuff here, right? So first of all, what that led me to is although Man City are doing historic things, right? No one's bothered because there's not that jeopardy or that story there, and actually there's more meat on the bone when it comes to Liverpool being a mess, as Jamie Carragher was saying. Simon Jordan disagreed with that. Did you see that?
No.
So Simon Jordan was saying that. So Simon Jordan said that Liverpool don't have this is in the 80s or 90s where people were going, I want to play where Graham Souness played. These kids now, they want to play where Michael Essien played. It's that now. So the Man Cities and the Chelseas have more clout than Liverpool and have more money as well. But in terms of like the media and the fan bases at the moment, certainly in our country, I think, and actually generally around the world, Liverpool and Man United and those guys are the bigger stories. So every year at the start of the year, the team that is really the huge team that can struggle and that teams can get on them, the media can get on them, be that Arsenal when they lost the first 3 games, Man United last year, remember when they lost the first 2 games? This year it's Liverpool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I agree with you. And no one really can get at Man City because they are inevitable, but also intensely insipid. There's not much going on up there. Do you know what I mean? Other than the money and the success that's brought, there's not a lot there. The only thing that used to be interesting about Manchester City is that they were the proper club in Manchester, as they would say.
Yeah.
So I didn't say that, right? I'm just telling you that was... And they were like the noisy neighbour, weren't they?
Yeah.
But now they've turned into something else.
Well,
I really do feel for the people that were there at the beginning and then saw that success and just see their club go down the drain. I really feel for those fans.
What, for Man City fans? I have no sympathy for Man City fans at all. They've had an incredible time. I saw someone talking about the clout versus trophies. Would you rather? So this is a question for you. Well, what's more important, having clout today so you're a bit more excited moving forwards, or having the trophies? So you could say, for example, being like Liverpool got more trophies overall than Chelsea and Man City, although those two have got more in probably recent years. But for you specifically, I was thinking Tottenham have more clout than Leicester City. But Leicester City have won the league and they've won the FA Cup. Would you rather obviously you always want to be a Spurs fan. I get that.
Be relegated.
Would you? No, yeah, they've been relegated too. True.
You asked
exactly.
me whether I'd want to be a relegated team right now.
Are you more? But would you rather be the team that has the clout but had the experiences and has the trophies in their cabinet, or would you rather have the clout?
I'd rather have the trophies. I'd rather have that League Cup win. I'd see that league win rather. League Cup win. That's probably what we get. But the league win. To have it done. Look, the question is too. You can't. It's not. It's hard. It's impossible to answer, right? Because you asked me, would I rather be Leicester, a relegated Leicester, and have won the league in 2016, than right now? No, because I'm so excited about what's going to happen at Spurs right now.
They're going to be fun to watch. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much for free. There's a free sentence of insight to you.
We'll come on to that. We need to deal with Liverpool first.
Okay.
But yeah, the answer is I'm completely happy with where we are, but winning things and having that written down in history is the most important thing, I guess. Liverpool. What?
Clout schmout. I just think, look, when we're getting to a point where you're bragging over, so say like Man United right now, over the last sort of 5-6 year period, if they're sort of patting Liverpool on the head because they've got more clout than them, whilst Liverpool have won the Champions League and won these things in recent years. Like that for me is a sorry state of affairs.
When you're talking about clout, are you talking about Chelsea signing these players that Liverpool?
The pull. Do you know what? That's a really interesting thing as well, is how people spin transfers. Because people Brighton are genius. If we really break this down, what makes you a genius in the transfer market? It's buying people that people aren't aware of for cheap and selling them for loads of money, right? That is very difficult at the top. Really, really difficult at the top.
At the top, you don't need to do that. It'd be great, but it's much easier to buy ready-made players than it is gamble to some degree that Brighton has to do. But Brighton are in a situation now where you think like they're going to nail it every time. Like the geezer, I don't know the name of the geezer. This is how good they are. Who's replacing Caicedo, right? I don't know his name, but I'm almost certain he's going to be as good as him, or will be able to do his job because they're so good at what they do.
But that was that was Leicester a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's hard to sustain. Like Southampton's model.
Let's all say it together.
But it's not hubris because they're very humble about what they're doing, right? They don't talk about it.
Yes.
Whereas Southampton used to be like the Academy of English football. So did West Ham. They had incredible teams. If you look at, West Ham managed to keep a lot of them together for a couple of years. Talking about Joe Cole, Rio Ferdinand, Lampard. There was a period where all of those players played in the team. Joe Cole, did I say Defoe? They had some brilliant players, and then they lost them all, went down. Brighton have to be aware, not of hubris, but
be aware or beware.
They have to be aware of the fact that what is it? Beware or beware?
Beware is like, okay, I'm afraid of that.
But be aware of.
Right. So it's be aware. That's fine.
Let's be aware. They have to be aware that what they're doing is gambling to some degree, but it's calculated and it's never fouled them.
Do you know what they need to do for me? Is they need to continue to know what they are and which sort of level they're trying to get to, and not try and get there too quickly. So, sorry, my WhatsApp's beeping away. What Leicester sort of didn't do well with is it was sort of when to spend, and
they needed to beware hubris.
Yes, they did. They did a little bit. And actually, so we spoke about this on the Ripple Effect this week. Is one of Klopp's great strengths is, I think, his compassion, and he's that sort of fatherly figure for Liverpool. But at the same time, has he made a bit of a mistake? It feels like, or certainly the club has, in terms of when to be ruthless. Like, one thing that Sir Alex definitely did was he smelt that weakness or that lack of fear. Do you know what I mean? And he that benefit of the doubt was never given. It was almost like it was sort of earned through during the season, and he culled and culled and culled again. And that is one thing that Liverpool have got massively wrong, in my opinion. They always, if they'd remembered who they were, which is kind of what people are saying. And actually, what's been really interesting here is that there is so much evidence to prove the fact that they went and got people for 30 million that were going to be superstars, or they believed were going to be superstars, and they went and got them, and they didn't hesitate. Mane, Wijnaldum, Salah, those kind of players. They were all 30, 35 million. And they can obviously do that again. Robertson was 8 million as well. But so the critique I had on Liverpool was that everyone's talking about these directors of footballs. That's not the problem for me. You can go and you should have a big enough recruitment team with the amount of staff that's there to go and get the guy that you need quickly every single time. And there's always more than one, which Liverpool are finding now because they're signing a 30-year-old called Wataru Endo, who no one knows anything about, and his numbers are a little bit shoddy, if I'm honest.
You look at his statistics. I can only go by what I know, and that's whether I know the player. And if I've never heard of him, you're in trouble. That's not true.
Yeah, actually, I'll be honest. I've had a very quick look at him. I've heard that I watched one of Redman's videos on it, and someone who's a fan of Stuttgart passed on the idea that he's a good player, he's a good tackler, he'll win the ball, he's that kind of player. But when I looked at his stats briefly, the one thing that was a problem was that he was in the bottom. He was 36th percentile for passes completed.
Right.
And so
can I tell you why this signing is a problem for Liverpool? It's not that we need
to get to your Alonso shout, because I like that. I like it.
Yeah, we do. But this player signing this player is as a result of not being able to get the 2 first-class targets they wanted, and they both those players who will now be competing for a similar spot have chosen to join Chelsea over Liverpool. And it wasn't like it's through the grapevine we think he prefers a move to Chelsea. Both of them said I only want to sign for Chelsea. I only want to sign for Chelsea in a packed midfield. They've got Gallagher there, who was man of the match against Liverpool probably, and then they've brought in 2 players, and now it's going to have to be shipped out. But they've got an abundance of quality in midfield now, and there was actually a starting berth at Britain's most historic club in Liverpool.
I think Lavi's made a mistake personally. I think Lavi's made a mistake.
100% he has. 100%, and I think maybe to a certain degree, Caicedo has as well. I think if you look at what is possible to be achieved and who the winner is. Klopp is the winner over Pochettino, isn't he? Because he's done it with less.
I think I'm not bothered about that. More, I'm the Caicedo one. I think, look, pick the project that you like, and that's fine if it's Chelsea and you live in London. Great stuff. For Lavia, I think something's happened there where he's not had the guidance to go, oh, okay, I get it. Maybe you would have liked Chelsea, but that is a really stacked area. So the problem you have, I imagine, when you have these conversations with these young players who think they can, be world beaters, and they can, but they can in the right environment. And so the environment is really important. And the problem is the Chelsea environment's not guaranteed to be the wrong environment, but two things are occurring here. One, you've got it's very stacked, and in terms of the pathway for you, the pathway is not truly there. The second thing, has someone just come into our Discord server?
Can you see that on your screen for YouTube? Can you see that on YouTube?
What?
Will you be able to see it?
What?
The fact that someone's just come in.
Totting up wins. Yeah. Who do you think you are? Tell him, Flav.
Who the fuck? I know what he is. He's a fucking piece of shit, is what he is. Coming in here, messing up our flow. We're mid-flow. Do you not realise that we are podcasting right now? Right?
Yeah. I was about to make a stunning, articulate point there, and you've literally just crashed into it, totting up wins.
And he's sitting there, and he's listening to this, and he's probably panicking. He's done this by mistake, maybe. He's thinking, how do I get out of here?
I bloody hope he's panicking.
Man, this is a power move if ever I've seen one. Jesus Christ, just comes in mid-podcast. Like, here's my bollocks. Enjoy.
Yeah. Well, go take your bollocks elsewhere. Yeah, he's left. Yeah, get out. Out.
What were we saying?
I was making a fantastic point on Lavia. So what I was saying is, in terms of having that environment to be special, like he might be, and he like him and Caicedo and Enzo. I always get it's Enzo Fernandez, isn't it? I keep wanting to say Fernandez. Yeah. That's like look, that could be amazing. But you've also got Chukwuemeka and Conor Gallagher and Andre Santos and all these people, and also the people that have just left. Someone like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He was supposed to be the guy who's going to be the centre midfielder for the next 10 years as well. So you don't know how things can change. Whereas, like in terms of opportunity and minutes, Liverpool was the correct move, and I think his ego has got in the way here in some way, shape, or form. Where he's like, I'm not afraid of the rest. I'm going to go and be the guy, and he might go and be the guy. And if that works, then that's fine. But if it doesn't, you're Jack Rodwell. No offense to Jack Rodwell.
I think, yeah. I mean, there is that.
All due respect. All due respect to Jack Rodwell.
With all due respect to Jack Rodwell, Jim. With all due respect to your point, these players have a responsibility to get the most out of their career as possible. A part of that is playing football, right? What kind of legacy do I leave? You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
But if you're handing an 8-year contract for £100,000 a week, you are not moving to Liverpool.
Right. Let's work this out.
James, if you were my son, James,
yes,
and you was like, well, I've got an opportunity to move to Liverpool or Chelsea. Liverpool offering a 5-year deal, £100,000 a week. Chelsea offering an 8-year deal. That means that under no circumstances am I not going to receive £100,000 for 8 years.
Mm.
You are taking that, and if you don't take it, I'm going to smack your bum, send you up to bed with no dinner.
No dessert.
That sets up his life, his family's life forever.
I think that's incredible. But like, it's about what's the difference between like having. So what's that? I don't know what that is over 8 years and 5 years. It's millions of pounds, right? So you're a millionaire regardless. Either way, you've got an outrageous amount of money either way. But in terms of the 8 years after that and the contract after that, you may well be in a better place to get a better contract. Be it if you go to Liverpool,
or you might get injured.
Smash it, absolutely smash it, and then Real Madrid want you. Or of course you may get.
Mate, you've seen Jerry Maguire. You've seen Jerry Maguire.
Sure.
He could get injured. It's a risk.
I know, but then he got up, didn't he? And he scored the touchdown. It was amazing.
Baby, get up. Baby, get up. Baby, get up.
Great film.
Great film.
Great film. I fucking love Jerry Maguire. It's so good. Such a good film.
Yeah.
Is he like
every time it's on, you sit down.
Do we like Tom Cruise? Do we really believe that he actually But did he actually
You root
love
for him.
Rennie's?
You
Yeah, but
root
did
for
he
him.
actually love Rennie Zellweger? I'm not sure he did.
He was
I'm
lost.
Not sure he did.
He's a lost soul. He's a lost soul. He's trying to do stuff, and I think he liked her. I think he was fond of her.
I
Did he
think.
love her?
I
No,
think
he loved the boy.
I think he did love the boy. I think within 2 years after that, he's sick to the back teeth of her.
Yeah, he's banging
I think he's
brasses,
bored.
definitely.
He's,
but
yeah, he's definitely cheating on her within a
knee
2-year
deep,
time frame.
it's knee deep in sex workers by the end. Knee deep.
Yeah.
Literally, there are piles of them lying by his knees.
Our beloved patrons are here. I love this. Look, these are the kind of sentences I want. Tom Cruise is a freak, but he just loves cinema. That's great. If you want to become a patron, we reveal more in our mailbags. We certainly do. And actually, there were some good bits from the mailbags, and we've got other good bits as well. But let's finish up with the Liverpool thing. You're saying Klopp's going to be gone. So the chaos this year, the madness this year will be that Klopp will be gone and replaced by Alonso by the start of next season. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this time next year, Alonso, either by the end of the season or this time next year, Alonso will be Liverpool manager. And it won't be a bad thing. That will be a positive thing. And I don't think Klopp is leaving in a fireball. I think he's just going to go, right, it's time to part ways.
Right.
And the reason why, this is where I saw it. I just heard a hint of it. I heard a hint of it when he was trying to sign that kid's shirt in Indonesia. And you could tell he wanted to hit the kid. Do you know what I'm talking about, James?
I don't.
Right,
I
so
did hear about this. It was like, hold it straight or something. He got angry or something.
He goes, I want to sign it, but you must hold it straight. Like that, right?
That's bang on. Bang on. And you look like him. That was mad.
You know deep down he wanted to punch the kid. And when you want to punch your own fans, maybe that is the end.
Maybe that's the time to leave. That's the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a good bit.
So yeah, that's what
when
saying.
something when's the moment? That's a good bit maybe for this year's podcast. What the moment you know it's time to leave something or it's time to move on is when something happens.
Yeah, when you want to punch on your own fans, it's done. It's
probably time to go.
Especially if he's like 14.
Yeah,
like, I'm all for it. I'd like to see it, but
get your coat. The sort of get your coat moments. Yeah.
Ollie Sage says if Klopp was, and bear in mind, like, if you want to, we often refer to the chat. If you want to become a patron, you can. The link is in the description.
Love that.
And you can get involved in this high class chat.
Love that.
As and when we do it. Ollie Sage just says if Klopp was to go, I'd love Thomas Frank. Now that makes perfect sense for the next manager. He is good enough to do it, but it will go down like a bucket of cold sick.
Really?
It doesn't have the gravitas.
Gravitas is such a weird thing with managers, isn't it? The need
doesn't help
for gravitas.
It doesn't help.
Why has he not got the gravitas?
Just weird, isn't he? Just talks weird.
A bit of an oddball, isn't he?
It's like
but it's refreshing as long as I'm looking down upon you. That's a shame.
Yes.
Whereas if I'm looking at you eye to eye or looking for you to be a bit of an idol here, you're being a bit weird now. Stop it. Funny that, isn't it?
This is when you're looking down. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, James, is this is what's happening with Spurs at the moment. Because what is happening in terms of the football, James?
Yeah.
In terms of the football Spurs are playing, we're going to be playing a lovely attacking football.
That's going to be fun.
Right. This is what's fucking boiling my piss at the moment.
I love that.
Why is it suddenly that a team comes into the Premier League, a manager comes into the Premier League, and they're going to be playing attacking, aggressive, high possession, high pressing, high back line football.
Oh, yes.
Right? And the reaction is, yeah, it's going to be fun. That'd be nice for them. You'll enjoy it. And I've had a couple of conversations with people in our sphere. And I won't name his name, but he went to me, you're going to have fun next season. No, because that's disrespectful. That's patronising.
It is patronising.
Because no one says that, but no one calls Manchester City fun.
Yeah.
Oh, they are class. They dominate, right? That's what we're aiming to do.
You're not a threat, are you?
Do you know what? We're not. This is it. And this is what's boiling my piss. No one cares about us, Jim. No one sees us as a threat. It's just a bit of fun for Spurs to have attacking football because it'll end in nothing. But what about if they're wrong, James?
Wow.
What about if they're wrong?
Which leads me on perfectly. So what I've realised, by the way, Flav, is first of all, I looked at the rundown, which I've been using the same rundown for about 3 years now, and I just sort of like, it's a mess. as as people will probably know. But what we put in is little bits all the time. So if you are listening to this podcast for the first time, because maybe you are one of the 16,000 people that have subscribed to the channel this month, I don't know. That's not a flex. I'm just telling you the facts. Those are the numbers.
That definitely is a flex.
But if you are,
look at me.
My point is
16,000.
16,000.
Is that good?
But what I'm saying is,
what's that? What would they do to wobble?
What the? yeah. How many this month? 16,000. What I'm saying, Flav, is what happens a lot of the time is we do our last podcast in May, and then we have a summer, and then we come back and we've got 16,000. 16,000 more people watching, And if you are new to the podcast, what I thought might be of use is, as I go through my running order, I will be reading the lines of which were bits over the last 2 years, because there's so many different things. Just to sort of reel off a few quickly. Last year we had such bits. So a bit is an idea that we have, and then you guys in the comments, you basically facilitate and provide great comments that are really funny, and then we can read them on next week's podcast, and you're about to find that out now. But certain things that we had last year were, honestly, don't worry about it, happiness ratings, finally, no way out, over tipping chat, Nosh chat, which we've got a Nosh chat this week. We've got new bits, possibly Flav. We've got a Flav film chat. We've got the Jim Big Laugh Award, which should come back, but wasn't enough this week. Disappointing from you guys. He's calling it. Samisms. We've got some Samisms. Pavement remembers that guy. Life comes at you fast. Power move. We've got some child power moves this week. So all sorts. Happy ending chat. Curry panic. Dean Morgan is the type of guy. I can't do this anymore. It was a big one last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big one. We don't want to do those ones again, though, Jim, do we? We need new. This is new season, new bits.
New bits. That's it. 10 minutes with Nige, which never really got off the ground, due to us. Apologies, Tom. Anyway,
he's right there.
Also, I know.
Yeah, but if you are new to the podcast, Nigel Martin's son is a big part of it.
He's a huge part of it, and he's the operatic voice of the podcast. And how many podcasts can say that? How many? Name me another podcast that's got its own operatic voice, if needed. So actually, Thomas Martin, if you're up for it, just come into the Discord server for a second.
Next live show, do it again.
No, do it right now. Come into the Discord server and just supply us with one single note. One single
10 seconds.
note. We'll wait. We'll wait for you. Pop in there. One note.
He could be at work.
He's got it in it, but he's got it in his locker. He's done it live for us.
Yeah, but he might be at work. There might be people around him.
Come on,
Jim. While we're waiting for Thomas, what was the we were supposed to talk about something yesterday. It came up in the mailbag, which is another podcast that me and James is doing on Patreon.
Yeah, I've got it.
Patreon.
It's here somewhere. It was there was a couple of bits, wasn't there? One, where was it?
Thomas, do it.
It was a power move.
They're putting proper pressure on him.
Come on, Tom. It's called peer pressure, son. It ain't going away.
Come on, do it. Don't be a little baby about it. Just come and do it.
Get on with it. There was a couple of good ones. One was a power move. Oh, and I need to tell you about my nightmare on Saturday Social.
Should we do that? Because so James pitched this idea. Well, didn't pitch it to me. He's saying I've got to do this, and me being like a really lazy person, I'm like, that sounds like hell. Like, the last thing I'd want to do is do what James done on was it Thursday, James?
So we set off on got picked up at 4 p.m. in Brentford. And in my head, I got in the van, and so basically we had to go to all 20 Premier League grounds in 24 hours, right? And we were starting in Bournemouth. I got picked up in Brentford. So I was like, my head was screaming, going, let's just fucking go to Brentford, shall we? Can we not just tick that off now? But we had to start in Bournemouth.
Hold on. Why?
Hold up. Because we were starting in Bournemouth to make our way back to tick. Because everyone, I don't know.
Brentford's right there.
It's right there.
And James, this is in 24 hours. you end up in Burnley, but you live near Brentford. So you could have ended in Brentford.
It's a great shout. I think there's so much hindsight that we could have done this differently. So yeah, 24 hours to get to all 20 Premier League grounds. Didn't do it. Took 25. But
did you not even get it done?
No. But we also nearly died on this trip. Like I had 2:20. So in this from Thursday morning when I wake up at 7 in the morning till basically going on Saturday social, I think I'd had probably about 3 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep
on the bus, or when you got home.
So I had 2 sets of 20 minutes on the bus in the 24 hours.
That's enough.
And then on the drive back from Burnley to my house, I got Thomas is up for it. The Jaffin Discord server. We're in there right now. One note. I just want one pure note.
I want to sing a bit more now. Now he's up for it. I want to hear what song we saying.
So I had 2 sets of 20 minutes, right? And then we basically got to Burnley, and I basically got into a taxi after 5 minutes of filming and drove back down for another 4 hours or something to get back home, and did Saturday Social in the morning. Now, we got through the first 2 sections of Saturday Social, and you guys can watch this. The video's on there. The third section, they say to me, "Oh, we're going to do this new quiz thing called Ball Knowledge." I'm like, no, my brain's not working here. But I was like, okay. And I'm up against the beautiful Harry Pinero. It's a lovely soul. Anyway, we do it. And I bottled Saturday Social Gym, by the way. Cheers, Josh. Josh. I need to have a moment with Josh. Josh is... When we met Josh at the live show, Josh was...
Very humble.
He was happy to see us, wasn't he? He was like, I can't believe it. This is great. Since that day, I swear, every time I read something from him, he's trying to wind me up. Just reflect on that, Josh. Reflect on that.
Josh, do you know what? Let's see
this close!
Let's see this energy, Josh, when we do the next live show.
Yeah.
Not the, oh, wow, it's great to meet you.
I can't believe it.
Let's see this energy.
I can't believe it. Yeah. Do you want consistency? I want consistency from Josh. If you are a troll, be a troll in real life. All right?
We are going to take you apart, boy.
Yeah. Right. So we get to this last bit, and first we do this tic-tac-toe thing, and I'm in a good place, and then I've got to think of a player that played for Wolves and Chelsea, and I can't think of one, so I lose that bit, right? And that's okay, right? That's not overly embarrassing. I just struggled on that one. We then, there's a bit before that, and I think I lost that bit as well, maybe. So then we go into this fastest finger first thing, and Pinero's just like not even listening to the whole question. He's going boom, because he's just on it. He's in the zone. He's feeling himself, and that's fine. Right? So then I'm like, oh, okay, I need to buzz quicker here. And I'm like, brain, move. Come on, brain, move. Right?
What was the question?
So here's the question. Smithy goes, what animal... Oh!
Hello? Wait, I need to hear the question. Tom, you just wait there a second. Hello, mate. Just wait there.
I need to hear... Okay. What? I need to hear the note. Let him do his note, and then I can get back to the story. Do your note, Tom.
Go on, Tom.
It's too high, isn't it?
It's too high. It's too high because Discord works. It clips it. Tom,
lower, a bit lower, a bit lower. It has to be a bit lower, bit lower.
Baritone. Let's go baritone.
Can you go baritone? Oh, gets me, man. Well, I got enough of that. That was great, Tom. Great stuff. Great work. Love you, Tom.
Bye, Tom.
Thank you, mate. What a hero. Bye, mate. Fucking love that guy.
What other podcast would you get that? What other podcast would you get that?
Do you know what I want to show? Where is it?
James. Okay, then bye. I fucking love this shit. I really do. I love you guys as well. There he is. What a man.
It's going on the wall, Tom. Hang on.
Right. Can I just ask you a quick question? Can I just ask you a quick question, can I? Just ask you a quick question, James?
Yep.
Am I framed on that wall?
You are, you're there. You're there. And you're there. Three.
Okay.
Three of you.
All right. That's
and
acceptable.
as an Allcott in a Tottenham shirt, aren't there?
Fucking hell, hello.
Yeah.
That would get me moist. So don't show me that.
Yeah, you're doing your hand thing again, by the way. you just went like that. As you went hello, you moved your right arm like you were wanking again. You really got to...
Yeah, but when I do that, I generally do this.
Oh, yeah, it's 2 hands.
Everyone ever do 2 hands?
No power move.
Like
Right, here's the question. The question
this is
now...
my face as well. Imagine, this is my face.
Oh, this is your O face. There it is. There it is.
My masturbating face.
Lovely. Right, so Smithy goes, and I'm going right. I'm losing here badly. I need to get in. Right. He goes. What animal is on the badge of Newcastle? Ba-ding! Right. Pause. Don't say anything. I go. What animal? And my head, and I'm tripping a bit here. My head goes seahorse. Right? wait. But that's correct, Flav, you idiot. That's correct. Right. So my head
Seahorse?
goes. Yeah. So my head goes. My head goes seahorse. Right. Right. But as you know, as someone who's been on that show and had to do lies, you then go, don't search it yet. Just fucking listen to me. Right. Okay, so this is my inner monologue, right? And this all happens within 3 seconds. If you go watch the video, you'll see it. It all happens very quickly.
Yeah.
In my head, I go seahorse, and then in my head, I go, it's not a fucking seahorse, is it? Like, that's mental. Seahorse. So then I start scrabbling, going, it can't be a seahorse. Don't say seahorse on national television or live TV. Don't say seahorse. So then I'm going, but then you've got to say something.
Something, yeah.
I've got to say something, right? So then I start scrabbling around for different logos or different badges or different animals because I know it's not a normal animal because it is a seahorse, but I'm trying to picture this other animal. And I start to think of Coventry's badge. And in Coventry's badge, there's an elephant, right? And so it's at the point where something has to come out of my mouth now. And so I go, elephant? And I was obviously wrong because it was a fucking seahorse.
Mate, I've been educated today, James. I didn't know there was a seahorse on their badge.
Mate,
Are you saying there isn't a magpie on their badge?
I don't think so. I think it's 2 seahorses.
Why the fuck do they have seahorses on their badge?
I know, but I couldn't trust my own brain. It was horrible.
I appreciate that, Jim, and I know I've been there. I've been there on that show. I appreciate it. Is it? But I'm fascinated by the fact that there's a seahorse on their badge now.
No, are we doing badges? The badge is coming back.
I quite like that. That was a great bit. Like, we went through some mental badges. We found some stuff that just doesn't make any sense.
Wolf tits.
Roma's one is mental. Babies sucking off a wolf's tits is on their badge. Don't believe us. Show us.
Yeah. Lincoln, the imps, wasn't it? The imp one was good.
We're living something like Lincoln have the weirdest badge.
Should we try and make a thing that Newcastle, that's good. Gomelon. They should really be called the Seahorses, not the Magpies. Maybe we should start getting that going. Do you know what I was going to say?
Seahorses. They're seahorses.
Do you know what's a good bits? Things you've never seen before, and then people just opened your eyes to it. Like, for example, so it can be anything. Football would be perfect, but do you know what I realised? I think I saw it on TikTok or something. It was like, if you click your fingers, the sound's not coming from your fingers. It's coming from your fingers hitting your hand.
No. It is!
Amazing, isn't it? It's good, isn't it? So we want, that's a good new bit. I don't know what you call it. Mind-blowing.
Hang on, you got to give me... You can't just move on. This is new to me.
Seahorses. Clicking fingers.
Fucking my mind has been blown the last minute. This is fantastic. Please send in more stuff that can blow my mind. What the fuck?
Harry Grimes, what was that? The winking bumhole's my one. What was that one?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That was a good one. What was that again? It's when you sneeze, you can't not wink. What was it? What was that?
If you're trying to sort of like clench your willy. Is it that? Not clench your willy.
No, I think was it when you tense your when you
got a semi.
When you bounce your you're trying to, but you can't. What is it?
Bounce.
Can someone remind us what
Something like
winking?
They were all, it was all these uni students. They were all looking at each other like winking their bum at each other. We're trying to raise your peace. That's right, Sam. Trying to raise your peace. Anyway, right, let's move on. You were talking about Tottenham being fun. Charlie Warner from the comments last week, he said, Jim, can we have Postecoglou this season? Wouldn't it be fun if Tottenham just went on a charge? Something sort of clicked, and you kind of like round Christmas they were still they were top. That would just be awesome, wouldn't it?
That would, of course, that would be incredible. I think.
Do they need the glue, Flav? Do you want to access the glue? Is what I'm saying.
Well, no. What we need is, we need patience, right? We need patience because as Tifo did a good video and said, look, if this clicks, it's going to be incredible for Spurs. But there are going to be some high-scoring games, and the better sides will be able to get at Tottenham.
Yeah, Allcott said that first, so shush, right.
Tifo. Sorry, I should have said you said it.
Yeah.
But I'd rather this than what we had with Conte. And isn't he the most lovable manager in the league? Like everyone wants him to do well, unless you absolutely loathe Tottenham, which is a lot of people. But he speaks well, right? He just speaks. He's blunt.
He's what you're after. He's what you're after. And he has got the. So this is a great comment from Oliver. How do you say it? Fifeian. There's a PH. Winking chat was great. So last week we were talking about how which managers would you like to wink at you, Postecoglou. Which managers would you feel creeped out if they winked at you, Arteta. And he said, winking chat is great because I truly believe that large, rotund, middle-aged managers could make more football fans shudder at the knees than a room full of Margot Robbies.
Yeah.
It's true, isn't it?
Like, if you have to be cuddled by one person for the rest of your life, you're not choosing Margot Robbie.
Do you know what would be so disappointing?
You're choosing Postecoglou.
Yeah. What would be so disappointing is if he didn't smell good.
I think he probably doesn't. But the thing, what would a cuddle? What would a cuddle? Just in my experience, men of that age and size typically don't smell.
He smells like Vegemite, doesn't he? How's that for brekkie? Is it racist?
Can you be? We're xenophobic, isn't it? But it's like they're Australian, so who gives a shit?
Is it?
They're
essentially British, aren't they? No.
Well, I mean, during the World Cup, I would say they're the shit British. They're like the worst ones that we didn't want, so we sent them over there. I think that's the narrative, isn't it?
When needed, yeah.
That and now you can understand why they hate us so much because the formation of Australia is pretty grim on our part. Yeah. No, look, imagine what a cuddle would be like between Postecoglou and Martin Jol. Oh man, they're cuddling each other.
Well, no.
Wow,
so you've
got to be in the middle of that.
But someone's got to be that baby. Someone's got to be that little spoon. You know, two massive people. I just think you're sort of cancelling out the quality there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You're right. Yeah, you're right. Why wasn't it though that Arsenal? Why wasn't Arteta's system fun when they started it? Why wasn't Pep Guardiola's system fun? Why wasn't Emery's high line? Why wasn't that fun? Why wasn't that considered fun?
Fun, isn't it? It's the fun, frivolous, isn't it? It's a frivolous word. That's what's.
Yeah, go and enjoy yourself. It is going to be fun, much more fun for me to watch football, and it'll be more entertaining. But fun is a pejorative term in football, and I don't like it.
That's true. Fun leads to the connotation.
I can say it about Spurs, but other people can't.
Fun means that you can't be serious.
It means that you don't really know what you're doing, but at least you're having fun.
Yeah. Or exactly. Or you're essentially not a threat, as we said.
Klopp's Gegenpress.
It was fun.
It was
fun. Yeah.
Was that? People go, oh, that's a bit of fun.
I think, going into the season, I thought Liverpool would be really fun this year, and they might still when it calms down. But I do think the media are on them. They're after them.
Good.
They're this year's Man United, Arsenal.
Like the league, they're talking about Postecoglou like they talked about Bielsa. They didn't really take him seriously, and it is, and I'm part of it. I think it's because he's rotund, he's half Greek and half Australian, and you know what? He's going to force people to take them seriously. Ollie's just said, honestly, don't worry about it, Flav. If I didn't worry about it, this wouldn't be a very entertaining podcast, would it, Ollie? So,
Can't win. The do you know what I don't know if it's in a comment. But I've got an idea that would be good. I don't know if anyone's up for doing it. But if they were willing to, I would love people to, I don't know if it can be done, clip up our takes and see how hypocritical we are by the end of the season. Like, how much do we literally flip-flop? And because I'm intrigued to see, that's what I like about the narrative. I'm intrigued to see how people's feelings change over the season. But I'm also intrigued to see how your feelings change, or if I'm full of shit as well.
My season, my feelings definitely change, and I might hate his guts. I won't hate him, but I might think maybe not.
How many games without a win? Now there'll be some draws in there. Already has been, but games without a win can Postecoglou have before you turn on him?
I'm not going to turn on him because it's Ben. Like, see, this is the problem with this Attenborough stuff. Is Ben's just said the Luton manager's just been sacked? That can't be true, is it?
No, surely not. What, Rob Edwards?
Surely not.
Is someone watching? What? I can't be new. No. Talking crap.
You bastard. That was good. Well done. Although he's going to stop the flow of the podcast if everyone keeps fucking doing this shit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ignore it, and I don't want to ignore the chat.
They've just signed Tim Krul.
Oh, fuck, I hate Tim Krul.
He's not likeable, Tim Krul. I don't enjoy it. He's going to struggle with the penalties this year. Now he's got to behave himself.
Yeah, won't be tolerated. What was we talking about?
Sorry, people clipping us up.
Look, well, do you remember this time last season, Jim? No, you said how many wins? How many?
That's it. Yeah,
without winning. I'm not going to turn on Postecoglou because I've been warned and anticipate a difficult first season. So regardless of what happens, I'll back him unless we're like, flirting with relegation. But I just want to see it play out. I want to see it play out. I don't want to, because what was the alternative? We go back to what. We have a manager who has an idea and an identity, and I get with it, results have to come. But if we are, if we're 8th or 9th at the end of the season, but we've played much better football, then that's much better than what we had last season under Conte. In terms of contradicting ourselves, you know what I said about Conte, and you also predicted exactly how I feel, and you got it right. But I would say at the beginning, this time last year, I was about as happy as I ever have been. Because we'd just beaten Southampton 4-1 at home. And, felt like we was on a march.
Yeah, I think my gut says it. I think you'll get to the end of the season and feel like you're going somewhere. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
Montage football, baby. It's going to be montage. You can imagine the soundtrack to it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
In a good way.
I hate to say it, Jim, right? I really hate to say it. And I don't like giving Arsenal credit. But the fact that they stuck with Arteta after 2 8 places, I'm not giving the fans credit because they fucking don't deserve any of it, right?
Yeah.
But the people that own the football club,
some fans,
they said, no, all of them. None of them deserve it. So they said, no, this is our guy and this is our plan. And no matter how much our fans whine and whinge and want him out, we're not going to listen to them because they don't know what they're talking about. And we're going to stick with Arteta. And he had 2 8th place finishes, 2 5th place finishes, 4 seasons of what Arsenal fans would consider drastic underperformance. And they stuck with him, and now they're probably the only legitimate challenger to Manchester City, and probably have a good chance this season, maybe of winning it, because there was a plan. So what I'm saying is those are great lessons in this modern era of football for other teams to look and incorporate. And as Spurs fans and the club need to look at Postecoglou, what he's trying to build, and let him try, give him the space to fucking breathe, and just let him try because it feels good at the moment. It feels good.
You got to back the man, haven't you? That's the thing. Do you think he's got the experience? I think he's got a nice way of playing football. I think as long as you stick with him, then you've got a bloody good chance. Sorry, I
You know
just
what
want
else
to
he's got?
find a comment here. Right, let me read it through a couple of comments.
Just quickly, he's also got Yves Bissouma. He's got Bissouma.
What we're rating Bissouma now, aren't we?
Conte last season. So this everyone knows how good Bissouma was at Brighton, right? And we have seen the end of last season, pre-season, and that game against Brentford. He is elite. He will finish this season be considered within the top 3-6s in the country, right? This is my prediction. Conte's looked at him and gone, nah, not for me. How? What have you seen in his ability and gone, no?
You bought him as well.
How?
That's the weird thing. You bought him.
He's just gone, no, he just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand our system. And his system was really basic. Postecoglou's system is complex. It was a lot of moving parts.
He's the guy, isn't he? He's your 100-touch guy, isn't he?
Such a dickhead, Conte. He's an absolute fucking dickhead.
I agree.
Not good enough. Not good enough.
It's the year of the 8s. The year of the number 8s. Right, let me read out some stuff here. That's funny. There's a lot of football chat. Too much, in fact. Now, I'm sort of wary of this, but it was the top comment by far. We had a lot of predictions in last week's podcast. And it was Ibn de Grief, who's one of our patrons. And we love him very much. He says, prediction for the year. It's got 468 likes and 19 replies. He said, Rory will say West Ham are a Rizzler paper away from relegation.
Is that one of his go-tos?
Apparently so. So
I like it.
What I would like to do is to caveat all of this by saying, and me and you we are totally agreed on this, is that Rory's wonderful at talking about football. Wonderful. Yeah. I just want to get that out there, okay?
He's highly skilled.
Now and I'm also nervous about these kind of things because we all have our little phrases that we all say, and then they kind of like Flav's. It was the old insipid one.
Insipid, fundamentally.
Fish stinks. It stinks from the head. Things like that. And I've got loads as well. Honestly, don't worry about it. All those kind of things.
You talk a lot, so obviously you've got to go to a stable vocabulary. It's not our fault.
So, but Rizzler Pay, there are certain things that Rory says that you're like, oh yeah, that's a Roryism. And there were 19 replies on this. And the Rizzler paper is a great one that he has got. But there was a couple more as well. Just the replies from everyone were really good. Hang on.
Well, so we're talking about all of his Roryisms.
Yeah. So I don't want this to be I'm not sure I want this to be a weekly thing, because one thing I don't want to do is to make, like we were chatting a bit about this on the mailbag yesterday, is Rory thinking about what he's saying too much. Because it's like, it's not enjoyable. But as a one-time thing, I think we can bask in the glory of a few Roryisms.
Before we get into that, should we see if Rory wants to come on the pod? Would that work? Just one episode?
Yeah, mate, that'd be amazing. That'd be great.
Yeah, let's.
Well, I mean, what do we want to? Does Rory want it? I haven't checked this with Rory.
Rory's lovely. Rory will do it for us, I think.
But yeah, so there are a couple of good lines here from Rory that Rory does say. And I hadn't thought about him, and I just thought it was great. So let's do it. So Miniman said that he will say that he doesn't understand why people are so sneery. Sneery is apparently a Roryism about cup competitions. There was another one that was really good as well.
I don't remember him saying sneery. Rizzler
paper is definitely one of his. Definitely one of his. There's no such thing as over celebrating, which I completely agree with. Apparently, that's one of Rory's. Where is it? There's more. Show more replies. Here we go. This is the one I liked. Addison Turner, who said he will. One prediction that Rory will do this season is that he will give something the due diligence that it deserves. That is a great one. I think that's great, but this is what people don't understand. Rory is elite, right, at what he does, because he'll go, we need to explore something, or he goes, we need to give this the due diligence, which is basically let's pick the bones of this. That's what we do. That's what we do for a living. Right. But that is definitely his. We need to give something the due diligence that it deserves.
I would go, in terms of people in our space, I think Rory's probably the best speaker out there.
I agree.
And I totally agree. He can mix it up with some bold takes.
Sure.
But he has he's articulate enough that it gives it credibility, even if sometimes what he's saying is crazy, and that's a fucking. It's not even a gift. It's something he's worked on for years,
mate.
He got Spurs fans on Twitter the other day.
Did he? What did he do?
Said, Harry Kane gave this fucking half-assed goodbye video, right? Which is fine. Fucking who cares?
Oh yeah. I saw that tweet.
And he said, "Thanks for the memories" or something like that. And Rory just quotes him and said, "What memories?" And I was like, "That is good." Because I'm looking at him because I know what he's doing, and even I'm like, "You bastard! You've fucking done us there, right?"
So
and but I'm getting heat off that now, right? Is this your mate? Is this your mate? Is it? People are questioning my friendships. And I told him again, I realize I'm getting heat from tweets that you're saying. And he was like, what have I said? And
that's great.
It's like, I don't know.
Here's one. Eve Degree said this as well. Spurs fans thinking they're a big club because their granddad saw them do the double. That is such a Rory line. Fucking love it. So
yeah,
good.
that is good. Yeah.
Getting the old tic tac. That's a Rory one as well. Getting the old sack. Anyway, I just thought that was good. We love you, Rory. Okay.
We'll get him on. But
man.
But the in jokes he'll be very confused. I mean, we used to get him on One for the Weekend. I think he was on there a couple of times.
A couple of weeks you couldn't do it. He enjoyed it. I think there was sometimes he was like, "What?" I think I screamed, "Who am I?" at him. And he was like, "What?" Jeff Beasley said, "Watching again because 3 times is just not enough. You need to watch a minimum of 5 times to get the full effect of Jaffin. It's layered. It was made that way."
Yeah.
Not all good comments this week. Sadly, 1 week ban goes to Shoz Luton 2376. He said, "James, can you do a video about Luton's fall and rise, the greatest story of EFL's history?" He put that in the Jaffin comments.
What did he say? Can you do us a video saying what?
Can you do a video on Luton's fall and rise? First of all, Sky have already done it. There's a whole documentary there. So I'm looking forward to watch at some point. 2, no.
Fucking James has got a plan about what he wants to do. He's not going to just take on suggestions, is he?
Yeah. So to be fair though, I'm not really doing enough, am I? I'm not really putting enough content out at the moment, am I? Come on. Can I just sit and chat with my mate and talk about penises in a variety of different ways? I don't want to do a Luton fall and rise just yet. And you're enjoying your Premier League journey. I respect that journey. I've got to watch QPR. I don't need to be doing that. And other people have done it.
Did you play last night? Did you say you were going to play last night?
Lost in the last minute. But Gareth Ainsworth, I'm more interested in Gareth Ainsworth's interviews these days. But he was proud of how we played and how the fans stuck by us. Well,
fucking 90 plus 9.
Yeah, it's brutal, isn't it? I'm pleased we're out of that tournament, to be honest.
What is that tournament? The EFL
squad
Cup?
is thin. It's the League Cup. Heard of it?
Do you know what's weird? The we're in this round as well. It's weird.
Rightly so.
When are we playing then? Fuck, hang on a sec.
Are you next week? Are you? Oh, what? Because you didn't finish high enough or something?
Oh, yeah, weird, isn't it? Entering at this stage is really like, fuck, we are around the dregs now, aren't we? The real shit in football plays league.
Well, Premier League champions Leicester City, they'll be in it. So, FA Cup winners Leicester City will also be in it. League Cup winners Birmingham City, they'll be in it. Loads of teams.
So was that round 1 then? What was that? The second round?
I don't care, Flav.
What round was it, James?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I was knackered from trying to get the narrative out, and I don't know. Okay.
How proud can you be when you've had 6 shots on goal in 90 minutes?
Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Stop it. Fuck off.
Just asking the question. I'm just asking.
We played kids. It's a weak squad. That game doesn't matter. That game doesn't. I'm pleased we got out of that game without getting pumped 4-0. Okay, so we move on to Ipswich Town, which we'll probably lose.
Pass accuracy was 75%. That means 1 in 4 went to the opposition.
That's our style of play. I don't know what you're worried about. It's about. How do we get on? How do we get on our last game of football? We won 2-1. All right. You know our style of play. So let's all accept the style of play and see if we can stay in this fucking division. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Samisms. There's nothing better than a Samism from Sam. There's nothing better.
That's the full circle, isn't it?
It's my favourite Samism. So I think and Sam is killing it right now. For those of you who don't know, Sam is the man behind United People's TV. Great channel, very informative, very good. But we've known Sam for a long time, and Sam can sometimes get his phrases mixed up. So if you could just watch all of his content, guys, make sure you subscribe to him as well, and clip up or just let us know whenever he drops a Samism. It'll be 1 in 2, maybe every video. It's got a great strike rate. And he
might think like it's a bit mean, but we're sending so many views his way.
Yeah, exactly. Craig Wilson, he said, Samisms from the Ripple Effect podcast with Sam. So this was a while ago. It's a great podcast, and it's a great, literally, single episode of the podcast. So go check it out. There was the one they mentioned when it happened. Sorry, I don't know what that means. Then he also said he would find something out in the goodness of time.
I can hear him saying it. I can hear him saying it.
Love that. And he said it was a blind-faced lie. Blind-faced lie. Perfect. Both are perfect. They are. I did one and got away with it last week, I think. This might have been in my prediction video or something. I can't remember what it is now. SWJ, and a lot of people spotted this. First Samism of the season. Upon hearing Gary O'Neill being described as a young manager with strong principles, Flav said that Wolves fans will be frothing at the bit.
What did I?
Frothing.
What is it?
Frothing at the bit.
Oh no, it's actually
chomping.
Oh, good. That's quality. It's actually frothing at the bollocks, isn't it?
Oh, fuck. That's not a phrase.
I did use that last week. I said someone be frothing at the bollocks at the idea. Is
it not frothing at the mouth and chomping at the bit?
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Frothing at the bollocks.
That's mine. Well, I literally used that on the podcast. Good.
Reese says it could be something else, but I'm not reading that out.
Reese, come on, man.
Vulgar, Reese.
Behave. Fuck's sake. There are ladies in this chat. Reese, apologise now. Otherwise, you're banned. 2 weeks.
Yeah, Reese, there's ladies in this chat. Right, let's move swiftly on. Nosh chat.
Jesus.
Yishan Khan. Lads, in keeping with a bit that I believe needs to be revived, this was a bit from last year, I'm happy to report that I received at least, so he's not sure, he's lost count after this number that I'm about to read out. He said at least. So after this number, he wasn't able to track the amount of blowjobs he received. Okay. He said, I'm happy to report that I've received at least 3 noshes in the off season. 1, 2, 3. Oh, God, I'm not going to be able to count any more than that.
He's at least 3.
It's at least 3. Could be 4. I don't want to speculate, but it is at least 3. It's definitely more than 2. Considering I'm living in Pakistan and I'm married, this is like that time Sadio Mane got a hat-trick in record time playing for Southampton. Congratulations, Tisha.
What does living in Pakistan have to do with it? The married bit, I get. Because blowjobs do dry up in marriage. I get that. Sure. But what does Pakistan have to do with it?
Well, but he says unmarried, so he says he's less likely to get a blowjob because he's not married.
Oh, he's unmarried. I misheard. Oh yeah, fair enough.
I mean, and maybe is Pakistan a desert for blowjobs? Opportunity? I don't know.
Is it Jaffan's influence that are getting in these said blowjobs?
Who knows? Nosh, could try. Hi guys, excuse me, miss. I'm just trying to sort of up my numbers for a comment I'm going to put in a Jaffan podcast called, and it's a bit specifically, which has probably died now because I haven't done the podcast for 4 months, called Nosh Chat. You've not heard of it? Okay. I mean, the bottom line is, would you mind giving me a blowjob just to get my numbers up? And I imagine they were all for it.
Get the numbers up, can I?
Yeah. Right, Flav film chat. Interesting. So one thing I want to touch on. First of all, Johnny Slack says, petition to have Flav review a film he's watched during the week each podcast. I'd like this.
I can give you a 1 minute review of absolute shit I've watched last night.
Go on, yeah, great.
So watching Still on the sofa.
So this is a new bit. I'd like you to do a review of something that you've watched. 1 minute, whatever you want. It can be 2 seconds, whatever.
I just watched this film last night, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of sort of. It had the feeling of a 90s sort of indie film, like Todd Solondz, like Happiness, something like that. Right? Go and watch it. It's a good film. But it was on Now TV, and the concept was that this son blocks his dad on social media because his dad let him down a few times, right? And then he creates a catfish account of this girl and makes his son fall in love with the girl. Right. But it's really the dad. And you sit there, and it's supposed to be a comedy. And
is the dad married? Or is the dad single? Well, no, it doesn't matter, because he's either cheating on his wife or he's not.
He has a girlfriend, but he's not entering a romantic relationship with his son. He is catfishing his son, and his son falls in love with the girl. He has a partner.
I had it the wrong way around. Sorry, carry on. Right. This is the last time I'll interrupt. Go.
No, my lasting thing would be was that this is it was horrible. The whole film was horrible, right? Because you're leading up to this reveal, which is going to crush this kid. Because not only is the dad not going to get his son back because he's done this fucking horrendous thing, but the son is also going to be crushed by this. So the relationship's destroyed, and he doesn't have the love of his life that he thought he found. And I'm thinking, well, there must be some comedy or some sort of sweet relief at the end of the film. Nothing. It
really?
Was like,
what was the name of it?
Talk to me? Is it Talk to Me? And at the end was that the son sort of forgives him because he catfishes the dad back so that he ends up pretending to be his mum, so he ends up living next door and gives him a wink. It was shit. Utter tripe. Don't watch it. I'll tell you what.
How many stars? How many stars out of 5?
No, literally the lowest. It's one of the worst films I've ever seen.
-4 stars. Okay.
I'd say half a star.
Half a star.
If you can. What was it called? I Love My Dad. It doesn't make any fucking sense. The other thing I did watch though. Yeah, the other thing I did watch though, I have been quite enjoying is the Vincent Kompany, the Rise of Burnley. That's been pretty good. Did you watch that, Jim?
I haven't watched that yet. No. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. It's good, right? It's good, but it's like the stuff with Vincent Kompany is really impressive. Like, and I talked about him wanting to be Spurs manager, so I was interested. And he is impressive. The way he talks about football, he commands respect, and he knows when to go and when to hold back, and he understands football. Like he also mentioned. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But there's also the reason why this is happening is because these American coaches have come in, and they have organised it. They've given access to this film crew. It's the same people that did the QPR one, by the way.
Oh, right. Wow. And, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, check it
out.
So
they organised this access, and he's like, and then it's like, you're talking about Burnley. It's really interesting. They do shoot it really well, and like, you know, you're starting to understand why Burnley is such a good team last year. And then it will cut to a bit about the family and their religious beliefs, like the Mormons and stuff. And you're thinking, like, that is an interesting thing. The fact there's like a Mormon family, but it's just like
a bit jarring.
Watching all these goals. Yeah, it's a bit jarring. And then you get all these mad, in footballing sense, these mad Americans. The way they're talking about football, and you're like, how have they made a success out of this football club so quickly? And they talk about the recruitment process of Kompany and how he got to that stage. And it was down to 3, and he was just like, I just believe in him. He talks, and I believe in him. And he's like, it was that gut feeling that got Vincent Kompany the job. I just believe him when he speaks.
I believe him when he says, I've got really strong links with Man City and I can steal all their players on loan. I just believed in him. I just believed in him.
And he said, look, I know you're bitter, but it was interesting.
Wow.
And he had this meeting with him.
How did they get on against the Rangers? That's what I'm saying at Turf Moor. The boys, we pumped them 1-0. 2-1, sorry. He
did right at the end of the season, didn't he? They'd won the league by then, given up. But
no, actually.
Had they not?
No.
But he was saying like he had this meeting with Vincent Kompany and he just couldn't leave the meeting. He said he missed like 5 trains, and he just kept sitting and talking to Vincent Kompany. Anyway,
do you know what? I think it's important to be a tall man if you want to be a manager. I think it helps. I do think it helps.
Did you ever see Vincent Kompany talking about that goal he scored against Leicester? Was it that strike? Was it Leicester? Do you remember?
Maybe.
Last
I
goal
remember saying like Guardiola was like, "Don't shoot," and he was getting fed
It
up.
wasn't.
So just shot.
It wasn't Guardiola. It was players who were his junior, and he goes, and there's these young players and young inexperienced players telling me I shouldn't shoot, so I shot, and then it went.
That's the dream goal, isn't it? Like that is right up there.
It effectively stopped Liverpool from winning the league.
And it's we thumped it. So good.
Thunder bastard.
Another comment I enjoyed, and I did spot this myself, and I kind of let it go, but then I read a comment, so I thought I was going to put it in there, because a little power move from Flav, which has led to this bit that we have now in the podcast, which is great. James Simonson, 9905, 1 minute 17. I love to see Flav saying film instead of films to make his opinion sound more credible. You were saying, I love film. You and I adore film. Did you know that you did that?
Yeah, but that's correct. That's grammatically correct, right?
I'm sure it is, Flav. I'm sure it is.
Now I'm gonna have that in my head every time I say it.
Do you watch a lot of films? I adore film.
Yeah, it does sound really wanky when you say it like that.
Yeah. We'll finish off with. Sorry, go on.
Well, yeah, that's good. I need to recording in like 20 minutes for 5 o'clock.
Okay,
but
super quick.
The other thing we talked about was like what was it? Whistling while having a wee. Is that acceptable?
Oh, that
in
was
a
it.
toilet?
Yeah.
Public toilet.
So we got power moves here. So yeah, where is it? Oh, where is it? It was great, wasn't it? I mean, essentially what you just said, wasn't it? Let's be honest. But yeah. If you walk into a urinal and whistle while you wee, is that a power move or is it a bit weird? Oh,
it's not. I don't mind whistling. It is weird though. It's not a power move. It's weird. Farting is the one thing that like when you're in a public toilet, like you wouldn't do it out of the public toilet, but you get into the public toilet and all you hear is you're pissing and all you hear is.
But yeah, that said, it is sometimes incredibly hard not to fart when you wee.
Every time you have a poo, you need a wee, but not every time you need a wee do you need a poo.
But every time you wee and you're ready to fart, can you still wee without farting? Can you hold in a fart whilst weeing? Tricky. Very tricky.
No, I don't think you can actually. Yeah, you need to be relaxed down there, don't you?
Yeah,
that's probably why it happens. Yeah,
you can't wee and wink your bum. Is what I'm trying to say.
That's so funny that about when you're trying to lift your boner and your bum winks, and then all the boys in this room were all doing it. Like I'm doing it now. You're doing it now.
No, I'm not. I'm
but you're not. No.
Right, child power moves. I was talking about this last week about my son provided a little power move on me, found his penis, and he was having a little stretch of his penis whilst staring me in the eye whilst he's in the bath. God bless him. So I said, have you got any child power moves you can provide? And we've got 2 belters to finish off the podcast. Nate Lowry, on child power moves, my mate from primary school, Sean, I like this one. He said, well, in year 2, he asked to go to the toilet immediately after lunch.
Good.
He said the classic, no, you've just had lunch, speech begins. Sean cuts off the teacher and casually says, I'm going to wet myself now then. As his trousers just began to drip. Iconic. Good power move, that. And then this.
You see, if you wet yourself once, it means you've got that in the bank forever. Anytime you need a wee, they know they're not going to call you bluff. They know.
Exactly. I've proved it.
You will piss yourself.
Oren AJB, my little brother, 5 years old at the time, 16 years younger than me, after being repeatedly, explicitly informed to be careful when drinking his glass of milk, inevitably disregarded any advice and spilled half of it across the living room carpet. When accosted and told milk is the worst thing to spill over the carpet, he paused, inhaled, and with unfazed and uninterrupted eye contact, uttered the calm bravado. What about acid?
What about
acid?
Logic.
What about acid?
Logic.
Yeah, what milk? Oh, milk is it? What about acid? 5-year-old kid. Brilliant. Like acid, like that kind of quick wit. That's what I want from child power moves. What about acid? Very good.
Good stuff.
Right, guys. Enjoyed that. Very good stuff.
Yeah, man. Good pod.
Yes. Get involved in the comments. Join us on Patreon. Links in the description. And thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Well done, Thomas Martin. Great note. Really enjoyed that. Right. Ta-da.